everybody, it's Scott. This is the online players meeting for the 2024 Monster at Mayors, presented by Disc Giant and supported by Innova Champion Discs. In this video, we're going to cover some things that you might want to know that might help save you strokes. So stay tuned and let's check it out. Now, I try to make it as easy as possible for everyone to get all of this info because I think you want to know this stuff to make your experience and your tournament more enjoyable. We're going to hit stacks of facts so that you're well informed for the upcoming event this weekend. And here's an idea. If you don't have time to watch this whole video, put on the video and play it on the speakers of your car so that you hear everything that's being said and you're in the know and you don't miss any of the deets. Then you can go back in instances where you think you need to see the footage, such as the OB clarifications, and make everything crystal clear for yourself. Special thanks to Assistant TD Francisco Ortega. While this event is presented by Disc Giant and supported by Innova Champion Disc, there are some whole sponsors. These are individual players, friends of ours, friends of yours, that help add a little more to the event to cover costs and help ensure that payout stays in either script if you're AM or cash if you're pro. Now, before the close of registration and after we film this video, there may be a couple more sponsors that will put their name up with these fine individuals to help give them recognition. But either way, we appreciate you whole sponsors and thank you for your efforts to make this a stronger event. At the time of shooting this video, these are the generous folks that have stepped up to be whole sponsors. The great and powerful Levi Lubra, Joshua Mins, and Paul Sevcik. Thank you, friends. Now, you're also going to want to scan your welcome email because it covers the specifics of parking, as well as bathroom locations and water supply. A couple reminders up front here. Sales of outside items is strictly prohibited, like stuff out of the trunk of your car in the parking lot. Infractions of this rule will result in a no warning instant DQ. This is a PDGA event. It's not doubles, it's not tags, it's not a casual round with your buddies. Drug and alcohol policy is strictly in effect. I take the time to clarify this because people that paid to play this tournament don't want to have to deal with it. You don't want to spend all this money and get kicked out. I don't want to have to kick anyone out. The whole thing's a drag. Infractions of this rule will result in a no warning instant DQ. So please, folks, just keep it together. Most of the time, 2-meter rule is in effect in this region when we play our events, but on this course, with the secret hole in play, there are only 2 instances really where it might even come into play. So to simplify things, the 2-meter rule will not be in effect for this tournament. This is an extremely important note that might save you strokes because there is a rule that is unique to Nevada disc golf if a TD indicates that it is in play. This rule, of course, is referred to in Nevada as sage relief. I urge you to take a minute and go check out the separate video that we have posted if you are unfamiliar about this rule and how it might save you strokes. Go check it out. The Big Bad Raffle is one of the things that people look forward to the most at my events because it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of cool prizes, and you don't even have to be present to win because it's live televised on Saturday night. But there's a completely separate video for you to check out all of the good stuff that's going to be up for grabs in the raffle. So if you want to know more about it, go check out that video. This event is at high elevation. You're going to want to definitely remember your sunscreen because there's only a few holes where you might catch some shade on this course. And not only do you want to get hydrated before the event, you want to stay hydrated during the event. Locally, there's been some debate about, well, this hole should play like this, and people neglect to read the T signs where it is usually clearly illustrated. But we have made further clarifications in the caddy book to make things as clear as possible. It is highly recommended that you take a look through the caddy book and possibly even look at the page of the hole that you're throwing right before you play it so you're clear on the rules. There are certain instances where holes short of the fence will play as OB and other instances where it won't. There are reasons for this, and the differences are intentional and by design. So there will be notes at the bottom of the online PDGA scoring for each hole, and when in doubt, the caddy book serves as the law for this tournament. The caddy book stands with any play specification that is outlined there. OBs, we're going to cover how you call a couple of the OBs out here, such as split rail fence and a road like 19, secret hole behind me, where there is not a solid delineation of the road versus possibly the inbounds grass. But don't you worry, we're going to clear it up. Behind me, we have secret hole 19. When you look at the caddy book, the road behind me and beyond is OB. Curb asphalt and beyond the basket that way are OB, but you're gonna see this path behind me has grass, which is safe, and asphalt, and there's a tough line. Let's take a closer look. We're walking down here, we see that there's grass, pretty obvious, but then we have some islands here, which people might consider grass. Now what you wanna do is think about this like it is a river. Now if we were cruising out here and we have attached rocks and land, everything's fine, right? But if our disc was here, were to be here on an island, let's take a close look at this. That particular island of grass is not attached to the bank of the river, okay? So if you're on a patch of grass that's an island, that's gonna be surrounded by water, such as that. It's a good example. It's gonna be considered OB. Now look at here. This is not grass, but we can see that it is dirt. This is turf. This is still considered safe, that turf, okay? So hopefully that clears this up. This is not an island of grass because it's attached to the turf. That's still gonna be safe, all right? That's hole 19, clarification for hole 19. We'll go up here and do one more example. Walking up, attached, that's attached, that's attached. This is a good example. Our landmass veers this way, and then this would be considered an island, and that would be OB. Now there's a couple places on the course where it might be tough to tell the OB from what is safe because the asphalt is disintegrating. For example, behind us on hole 18. Now our friend Dustin Wise has volunteered to come out here and paint here and over on hole 14 to help clarify this. But if you come up to a situation on the course where what I'm about to describe presents itself to you, we're going to examine how you tell the difference between safe and OB. And let me point this out. If there's a debate on the card, even after watching this video, take a picture of it, bring it back to Tournament Central, and let me make the call and play what's called a provisional. You should know at this point, because you're playing a PDJB tier, what a provisional is, and if you don't, check it out. Here it's pretty clear where the asphalt is and isn't, but then we get up to these areas like this, where it's like this mix of where we go from dirt to white gravel to disintegrating asphalt and then to solid asphalt, okay? We know that the dirt is safe. All this other stuff in between is questionable. If you ever get to a spot like this where we don't have it painted, we need to have, for example, okay, we're cruising up, asphalt, attached. This disc is barely touching asphalt. That would be considered safe. But if a disc were to be surrounded by the solid asphalt, it would be considered OB. Throughout the park there is tons of split rail fence that delineates OB. Let's take a look and get a clear explanation of what constitutes OB under and over an OB split rail fence. Depending on where you stand, we're starting to get up here and go, uh-oh, these discs look like they're OB. But how do we tell exactly where the OB line is under a split rail fence? This is what we do. We get directly above the disc, like this first instance. We keep moving until we're directly above it, and the two posts underneath line up, okay? They're lined up right now, and we see a piece of the disc poking through. That means this disc is safe. This disc would still be safe even if it was a little further under, such as that. We're out here, we get lined up directly above it, and when the both posts are aligned, we still see a piece of the disc. That's gonna be safe. Now we come up to the disc behind it, we're gonna move directly over the disc, and as we line up these posts, we see that disc, there is no piece of the disc when both rails of the fence are aligned. That disc would be considered OB. The line that these fence rails make is the OB line. It is itself OB. There's a part of the park where there's some posts that have cables instead of split rails. You would use the same method for assessing whether a very close call is safe or OB, in that instance using the cable as the OB line, as we did with the rails. There you have it, folks. That is the online players meeting for the Monster at Mayors, presented by Disc Giant and supported by Innova. We hope you've gotten a lot of good intel to make your event more enjoyable. Thank you for joining us. Get your rest, take your vitamins. We'll see you this weekend.